it's the guy who plays Heath. Another African-American, the victim of the apocalypse. If I were Seth Gilliam, I'd start looking for other work now. Also, we might not have seen them in the season yet because Alana Masterson did have a kid after the end of Season 6, so she probably wasn't ready to shoot when they started production on Season 7.
Sure.
That's a fair point.
No, totally.
It sucks for the show, but...
Yeah, it sucks for the show.
The reality is what the reality is.
I'm certain if they cared, they could have gotten a couple scenes shot in advance. I just don't.
Yeah.
I think it's a bigger problem is they just don't. You're not going to sweat a detail like that. They're not going to sweat day, night, raining, clear skies. They're not going to sweat like, you know what? Just take a couple weeks. We'll shoot around you for 8-9 episodes. Even though you're
like recast her for a few weeks, like they did the Mountain.
Sure,
in Game of Thrones.
We need you to just kind of like come. We need some girl to come in and fist bump people and then cry,
right?
Ugly cry. Make a really ugly cry
for like 3 weeks, and then you'll be back, and it'll be good.
Yeah.
No one will notice.
That totally is something they could have tried.
Craig says the question came up last week about whether the blender gun was still in play. I think it's a safe bet that the gun is long gone, since a couple of seasons ago we saw Nicholas take it and then attempt to kill Glenn. Of course, that didn't happen, so I assume the blender gun was what Nicholas eventually killed himself with in the Dumpstergate episode.
Like I said,
I
felt like the blender gun was dealt with.
Yeah. It's out there somewhere, but nowhere near our survivors.
Right.
Melanie says, as for why Rick was okay lying about Maggie but not guns, Maggie is a person, guns are not. And I think we both agree with that.
Sure.
The people are...
While she might be indeed a pistol, she is not literally a gun.
Good one. Handing over a gun or even a fuck ton of guns is categorically not the same thing as handing over a person. These things are not equal, and for Rick to recognize that is neither bad storytelling nor inconsistent with his character. I know you aren't jerks who meant it that way. I'm a woman and I had the same thoughts you guys did, and it took me a few days to work out how to even articulate my discomfort. I'm not judging you for it because I was right there with you wondering the same thing, but it should probably bother us that we even wondered. Well, yeah, so when I talked about that, I was not saying he should have given up Maggie because he gave up the guns. I was saying in for a penny, in for a pound, right? You've already hidden something from him.
Right.
Hide some guns, too.
Yeah. Either one of those are merit death, and I guess, like, more to her point, she's saying, like, if you're going to take a risk on anything, take a risk on someone's life.
Right, but the risk is already taken once you've done that.
But also
so now take the risk of having some guns and some protection. And
yeah. No, and I also think it's fair to explore the cost of, how much do you sacrifice for one person, good of the many versus good of the few, and the fact that, like, Seth and Rick do this, not Seth, Jesus, Father Gabriel and Rick do this unilaterally. It's not like they pull Alexandria and everybody like, yep, I'm comfortable with one of my friends or family being beat to death because of this girl that you're attached to, who is a brand new person to most of us. Mm-hmm. So... like I said, I mean, I wasn't even thinking of like, oh, you monsters, it's a woman. I knew all that, but I'm like, these are some of the tough questions you got to ask yourself as a leader in Rick's position. So like, I'm not even going to back away and say I wasn't going there. I was totally going there, and I think it's fair to wonder at what point do you.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's the potential risk. So if he gives up Maggie, that's a guaranteed problem for Maggie.
Right.
If he keeps Maggie around and hides her, that's a potential problem later in the future. So sure. I would say those two things are probably not equal, and I would make the same call Rick did.
No, the risk analysis isn't.
Right.
You're
so, that's the decision I would make, and then I would also make the decision, you know what? I've already done something Negan's going to kill somebody for. Let's do some more and keep some weapons around. Right.
Like, let's do the same risk analysis about, that we... And the other thing is... I think this also serves to show the difference between a guy like Rick, a girl like Maggie, and a guy like Gregory.
Uh-huh.
Gregory sells people out. Maggie and Rick don't.
Yep. It seems to be the case. Let's move on to Ryan. He says, what's up, guys? Just want to send this link. It is a link to an article about Daryl's Morse code message to Rick. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
No. Holy shit.
Okay.
When did this
happen? This was when Daryl's hauled off the truck to come examine Alexandria with the Neganites.
Okay.
So early on in the episode, there's a Morse code chalkboard or poster or something in the background.
Right. No, I remember us saying...
You can see all the letters with all the symbols.
Yep. I remember us making a joke on the live watch about it.
Yeah, and then later on, Daryl gets off the truck and he's conspicuously blinking. Now, a lot of people were just thinking, myself included, that this was him clearing his eyes because he hasn't seen sunlight in a while.
Right.
Which makes sense, but a lot of people were also speculating this may be Morse code to Rick.
If it is, what was the Morse code message?
If it was, it's IEAST.
IEAST.
Which could potentially be I East or I'm East.
Oh.
Is he trying to maybe say where
they're coming from?
Where Negan's compound is?
Yeah,
I mean that's a possibility. It's pretty slick.
Almost too slick. Like the fact that
I don't believe Rick could do it.
You're going to introduce this Morse code element as a chalkboard feature.
Like,
and I remember us making a joke like, who the fuck is communicating through Morse code? Like, what purpose could this have? Like, and I mean, all right.
It's like the idea that Rick would realize in the moment that is in fact what Daryl is doing, and then remember exactly the dots and dashes he did.
If you're good at Morse code, you can just read that shit.
Right. Like, we've never seen Rick ever use Morse code.
No.
So I don't buy that Rick would have picked up on it.
Right. And that you'd be able to do it just like, because I feel like it takes a good, like, probably year of constant use before you get it like it's a language to you, you know?
Sure.
Same with like signal flags or anything. Like like if you served as a midshipman on a destroyer in the World War II, you could probably read Morse code through someone's eye blinking or something. But
you probably just see Morse code in your sleep.
Probably do. You
see it everywhere.
But otherwise, get the fuck out of here.
Right.
And also, that probably should have been a bigger deal. Man, God damn it, that does seem likely. But why wouldn't they make it a bigger deal?
I feel like maybe they will eventually.
Okay.
Maybe here it was just the tease.
Okay. All right. Well, good catch. If so, East.
Yeah.
East.
Dan from Philly says, I love to point out all the bullshit this show throws at us, and man, is it a lot. The fact that 2 Alpha Survivor kids decided to don roller skates, the 5 episodes it took to get back to Maggie, Carl's hair. But when you use an AMC Pacer as a rolling death car, you get my props. After all, that car and this show have a lot in common. Very rarely do you see either one working well. Man,
wasn't there like a fire hazard on one of those cars too? Or was that the Pinto?
I think that might be what he's referring to. That might have been the Pinto, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, which is not an AMC car.
Because like there was no shortage of really shitty.
Oh yeah.
You know, those were the Aztec or Pontiac Aztecs of the day, where everyone just kind of like, why? What?
Yeah.
Although I was researching a little bit into it, and I guess some of them were highly regarded as like pocket muscle cars. It seems hard to believe, but
well, if you put a big enough engine in it, so big that it maybe explodes
I
every
get
so
the whole
often.
concept of a sleeper. Like that's really cool when you have like what looks like an otherwise sleepy sedan that turns out it's a fire breathing monster. Like I always thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
the sleeper car definitely has a place in my heart. I just didn't see like it's just fucking ugly, man.
It's hideous. Yeah,
they really are.
Sir Nerd 84 says about the future of the Negan Rick storyline. Something I haven't heard anyone talk about is the fact that Judith is still alive. What are your thoughts on Negan ending Judith's life to cement his place in villain history? Too squicky for you?
It's not too squicky. It just like really murdering a baby is going to get some people. They're like, let's give this Negan guy a chance.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, I don't think they're doing a bad job conveying he's an evil guy.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like they
don't need it.
You don't need to further inflame. Like every second the saviors are on screen, I'm just like, these guys need to die. These guys need to die.
Yeah.
So killing a baby would just, I feel like, be a little exploitative for no real dramatic or storytelling reason.
If the "you guys need to die" trend starts to reverse, maybe they need to steer back in the right direction.
Sure.
They could have that happen, but I'm rooting for the zombie. Hopefully, it doesn't bash its brains in.
Yeah, I mean, if the Alexandrians start this whole "here's not here, them ain't us" bullshit again,
right?
Then maybe we start swinging back towards the Savior's sympathy. But then you got to kill a Judith. You got to.
Nathan E says, "Holy shit, they actually did it. It took 5 episodes this season, but The Walking Dead actually managed to tell 2 storylines in 1 episode."
I think 2 is cutting it. I think it's 3.
That's fair.
You got Michonne's point of view. You got the Carl and Enid story, and you got the shit going on at the Hilltop.
I know it's a little dry pie, but wouldn't it be great if more episodes were like this?
Yes.
I like how the two storylines merged into one at the end to move the plot forward. That was also very good.
I think it's de facto the fucker more interesting when you have multiple plots that, and it also allows one plot to be kind of info dump or a character moment without dragging down, because you can also have some action or suspense in other plots.
Mm-hmm. He goes on. Also, Carl wants to infiltrate the Savior compound, but how does he plan to defend himself? We know he couldn't have taken a gun from Alexandria. Assuming Jesus doesn't give him anything, is there a chance he took a weapon from Hilltop off screen?
Darts.
And if
He's
so,
got 6 of them.
I was going to say he took the darts with him, but he can't hit anything with those darts. That's
the thing. He's like, that's the beginning montage. You didn't see the rest of it.
Maybe he thinks he can get good enough on the truck. He's
found
going to be throwing those darts.
Little known, there is a abandoned warehouse in the Virginia DC Metroplex that all, when the lawn jarts company went out of business because everybody sued him for safety, they all were warehoused there, and he's found a warehouse full of jarts, and he's going to jart up all of the Savior's complex.
Okay,
they'll never see it coming.
I'm not sure he needs a weapon to defend himself now that he's got Jesus.
That's true.
Jesus is pretty badass.
He's got Jesus as his co-pilot.
Jesus on his side.
But I guess he's got a knife, and he's just going to try to get in close.
Probably.
I mean, maybe he thinks his plan is that Negan is fascinated by me. He's probably going to give a big watermelon ball speech about me and put his arm on my shoulder, and that's when I'm going to slide this knife in between his ribs.
Yeah, I mean, maybe his story is going to just be, I wanted to come check out the place. Like, he doesn't have to say, hey, I'm here to kill you.
Right. I mean, just him showing up, I think Negan's going to, it's Rick's son, so he's going to get a personal audience with him. He's going to massively underestimate Carl, and Carl is probably smart enough to count on all those things happening.
Take his eye.
He's got all the previous interactions with Negan, where Negan seems like, he is impressed with him, and doesn't want to hurt him. Probably because also that's a lot of leverage he has over Rick. So I'm very curious to see how they handle this moment.
Tony M says, finally, we get a confrontation of the cocktease that was Carl and Enid. Carl has someone now, and I get interested in the people that have someone to love in a romantic way.
Yeah, that's something they can lose. So that makes them a lot more interesting than the faceless hordes of Alexander and the Hilltop.
Yep. I thought no one could replace the hole in my heart that was my favorite character, Glenn, but Carl filled the hole this episode. Did he?
I don't think
I didn't see that on screen.
He got to first, maybe second base because the camera was cut pretty high. I don't know. Filling the hole, might have to wait until he gets back from
that is
the
crass.
Saviors.
I disapprove.
Really?
Yeah.
On our podcast?
I disapprove.
Okay. Noted.
Mike from Kentucky says, I really try to ignore all the obvious stuff in The Walking Dead that the show fails on. But for years, I've been wondering why no one grabbed a couple of big tractors and bush hogs and just started driving through the herds. Now it seems even more painfully obvious that the most dramatic tension on the show is created by stupidity. To make a clumsy...
Can you imagine what a fucking combine?
Yeah.
Like one of those big rig, fully enclosed, 30-foot wide combines would do to like a herd.
Yeah, it'd be disgusting and amazing.
It would make a highway through the walkers, no problem.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And they're out there. They're in abundance. I mean, it's Georgia, for God's sake.
Yeah.
They grow stuff there.
You can probably find a giant-ass combine, international John Deere combine, in any state in the Union.
Yeah.
Barring maybe Alaska. Why the fuck would Alaska have combines?
They obviously can't grow anything in their dead soil.
Right.
He goes on to
maybe Arizona's a bad choice for combine, too.
Yeah.
New Mexico.
That's not great.
All right.
Oh, there are several, apparently. To make a clumsy analogy, a good roller coaster makes you feel safe and still thrills you by doing the unexpected. A bad coaster scares you by making you think something will go wrong and you'll die. The Walking Dead feels like a cheap coaster sometimes. Hey, The Beast does that, and that's one of the all-time greats.
But it's the best there is at what it does, which is make you think that this is the time that this fucking thing's going to fly off the track and kill us.
Yep.
And that's part of the charm.
That's why I love it.
Yep.
Jenkins B says, hey guys, doesn't it bother you that every other character in this show, besides whoever is the current villain, is always a joke and can be easily manipulated, influenced, taken advantage of, or overpowered by even one of our main or secondary characters.
Yeah.
I'm aware that our group members are strong and have been molded by their experiences in the apocalypse, but likewise haven't Gregory, Jesus, Ezekiel, etc.
Right.
Many times in the show, these other characters we encounter get easily swayed from their customs, beliefs, and traditions of doing things by one rousing, halftime-esque speech from a Maggie, Sasha, Glenn, etc. For once, I'd like to see a strong-willed character who isn't a villain. The closest I've come to seeing one is Enid. She is quickly becoming my favorite character on the show, and I hope she doesn't fall into the Walking Dead stereotype and becomes Carl's damsel puppet.
That's a good point, and there's certainly a danger at some of the relatively weak storytelling told in a show that'll happen. Mm-hmm. But I mean, on the other hand, I'm a Star Trek fan, and like honestly, 90% of Star Trek is them going to planets that have obviously backwards customs and bullshit. Picard / Janeway / Kirk giving a speech about how fucking backwards and stupid it is, and them, of course, being right. So, like, maybe I don't notice that as much because, yeah, you're right. Like, it does seem like whoever is got like their name in the front of the episode is going to just bowl over whoever is the guest star.
Yeah,
by design.
Yeah, we're getting the hero's point of view, right? Mm-hmm. And the hero is someone we want to identify with, and we want to be right. So I think it makes a lot of sense.
It would be nice, and maybe that. I guess eventually the question is, what happens when you run into someone just like Rick? Like, I guess that would be the most interesting possibility is if Alexandria ran into another Alexandria, where there's nothing overtly villainous about what's going on. Like, there's no the guy having 13 wives and ironing people's face. There's no the police class raping people in the back. There's no people getting hot plates. It's just a bunch of survivors who are bitter and paranoid from their experiences, and you play them off one another. That would be super interesting.
Yeah, I mean, even with Ezekiel and his tribe up there, it seems like
maybe that's the closest.
They're close, but they're not those battle-hardened people, right?
They still do have some fighters, but Ezekiel's not Rick,
right,
at all.
Yeah, and his people aren't the survivors from our main group, right? His people are more like the Alexandrians or the people from Woodbury. They're kind of sheltered from all the hardships.
Yeah, that's true. The people in the kingdom proper, yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Shout out to Edwin D, who gave me all the information about darts and cross-site shooting and all that stuff. Moving on.
What do you say about jarts?
He tells me to stay away from them. They're very dangerous. Tom in a Volkswagen has a light ribbing for you here, Aaron.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm unribbable.
He says, Aaron has often mentioned that he enjoys the Rick-Carl father-son dynamic. I want to help Aaron out. Even adjusting for the hypothetical zombie apocalypse world, Rick is a moron.
Okay.
Please don't be like Rick. There was a time Rick herded a gabillion zombies, and cattle drove said zombies right by the idyllic community Rick and his followers call home.
Uh-huh.
Carl must have been thinking, damn, my dad is an idiot. I lost an eye for this.
Uh-huh.
Later, Rick, without knowing their relative strength, starts a war with mysterious saviors. Carl, direct quote, Dad did it again. What the fuck? I hope I don't get stabbed.
Yeah.
While under the care, in scare quotes, of his father, Carl has been shot twice. Please enlighten us. What is it about Rick and Carl that captures your attention? Bad choices, failed leadership, shared headgear? Anxious listeners are curious.
128 ounces of chocolate pudding. That you're right. The only thing Carl's ever done to rebel is constantly trying to escape his inept parents in season 2.
That's true.
And mostly succeed.
And still calling bullshit on all his dad's stuff.
And eat a gallon of chocolate pudding.
Right.
Which is probably punishment in itself.
I mean, real talk, people fuck up, I mean, Rick fucked up.
Yeah,
and he paid the price.
Yeah, he fucks up a lot. But on this end, I do think that, I don't know, like, this stretches back to, like, I'm kind of a sap and I'm a sucker. Like, I think of Rick and Carl and I think of the time like when Rick pulls up for the first time and is reunited with his family and Chandler Riggs like going for broke for a little boy or being reunited for his dad performance and Rick having to explain things to Carl up in the attic of the farmhouse. There's been a lot of like really good moments that they've had. Carl having to kill his mom and like
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not
which his dad would have approved of.
and I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying. It's just I don't know. Like I'm a little bit more of a sucker for that stuff. And despite their failures, I kind of want them to succeed. I want them to figure this out.
And really, the bad plan stuff is on the people around him too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nobody was calling bullshit on his plan, even though it was obviously bad. We did. Carl did.
Right.
Nobody else did.
Right. Well, but the other thing is no one else had a better plan.
There are 1,000 better plans. Someone could have had one.
Carhartt should have brought it up.
Right. That's on him.
Yeah, they should have got Reg's blueprint paper and like done it like Tom and Jerry, where he had the big old like plan that unfolds slowly every episode. I mean, you know, like give him a better option. Don't just let Rick steamroll you.
Yep. So Jeff in Raleigh, North Carolina, says, as far as last night's Walking Dead, I loved it. I've already seen a few critics trash it, so I felt compelled to write in and offer a dissenting voice, assuming you guys feel the same way as the other critics. Not really.
No, I don't think this is a trash-worthy episode.
No.
This is a above-average episode of The Walking Dead.
Yeah. In my opinion, Go-Getters was 90% of what could be good about The Walking Dead. The Enid and Carl young love montage was sweet and unexpected. The stubbornness and staleness of the Hilltop leader juxtaposed against the vitality of the Maggie, Sasha, and Jesus triumvirate was beautifully played. There was even the gratuitous creative zombie kill of the week as Maggie drove the tractor over the horde. It was a light, hopeful episode. For the heavy, torture-laden episodes we've had so far this year, it was a great way to cleanse this palate. Sure, the writers should be repentant for some of the Jesus clunky dialogue, and I don't know if Lauren Cohan is a good actress, but otherwise, this episode gave me a hopeful glimmer into the future of this world, and it was much needed.
What's it like to throw over an old, outdated white guy for strong female leadership?
What is it like?
What would that feel like, I wonder?
I
might never know.
Yeah, you definitely will never know. You can live it vicariously, perhaps.
The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
Although, no, you might be able to go for it. I say get the transition and just go for broke. Take some power from some old white males.
Okay, there you go. I mean, I'm not the one that was trashing this episode. Even if I thought some of this stuff was hokey and didn't work, which honestly I can't think of anything that jumped out other than Gregory's inept leadership, but that's part of the plot. The fact that they deftly balanced multiple storylines is something that, like, even if I thought this was secretly shit, I'd probably at least try to carry its water because I want them to encourage them to do that more.
Now, how do we know you're not doing that right now?
Because I'm openly and honestly talking about the dual nature of my work.
And not secretly hiding the fact that you think it was shit?
No, I don't. I didn't. Like I said, that's the greatest thing I've ever seen on television, but it's certainly not, like...
Right.
I didn't read any of the critical analysis because, number one, it's getting harder and harder to find. Like most of my standbys quit watching the show. Like Sepinwall checked out, I think, 2 seasons ago, and he was one of the last of the holdouts. But yeah, no, I thought it's above average for this era of The Walking Dead episode, and suffered from none of the storytelling weaknesses that plagued the show.
Yeah, that's always rough when you get, thinking about it critically. That's kind of starts to decline, and then you can sort of tell how good a show is by how many professionals are talking about it, right?
Right.
Because I look at, there's 1.5 million. There's more than there's ever been BuzzFeed, fucking Huffington Post articles out there about this show. Talking about the top 10 things you missed, talking about Morse code and Daryl's eyes, rather. There are 1,001 of those, but you're losing all the critics. You're losing the people who watch television to talk about the good and the bad of television.
Right.
Now it's just the fanboys shouting into an empty room of themselves.
Right.
And that's not useful.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean...
For me, I'm not looking to just be a champion of a show that's mediocre or a fanboy of a particular show.
Yeah.
I want to hear what people are saying about it who have actual opinions, not just, this is the best thing I've ever seen.
Right. Well, and the other thing is, like, even the Morse code, like, that's a cool idea, but I kind of want to fight just giving it to them because it seems like it's not been extremely well developed. So,
yeah,
like,
I'm going to say yet.
Yet, right.
Right. If Daryl does this every time they come and Rick eventually goes, oh, yeah, duh, he's doing Morse code.
I'm not saying just that. I'm just saying, like, why? Why did they start teaching everyone Morse code? I mean, there's a lot of It'd be like if they somehow started communicating with Braille. Why did the community start learning to read Braille?
Wait, who?
Like,
What
why
community
does
are you talking
Alexandrian?
about?
Why is Alexandrian as a community starting to
they
try to teach Morse code?
I mean, there's nothing that says they're learning Morse code.
Yeah, the blackboard that has Morse code on it implies that
Right,
someone
but
is teaching Morse code in the community. There's
That doesn't imply that. It implies it could be a decoration. I mean, there are 1,000 things in there that don't imply
That's what
anything.
I'm saying. So if it's just decoration or incidental, the fact I'm never going to buy that Rick knows Morse code or has learned Morse code.
Right, but what if they have a scene where Daryl's gathering up mattresses or whatever the fuck for Negan, and Rick's in the house, and Daryl like conspicuously is like looking over at the Morse code thing, trying to get Rick to notice.
So Daryl picked up Morse code?
Maybe he's always known it. I would buy that.
Okay, you really
Frankly.
would?
Yeah.
Run around as a neglected youth in the woods, he picked up Morse code?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
He's more likely than just about anyone else too.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's more likely that this is going to turn out to be kind of like
Abraham probably knew
a
it.
plot convenient thing rather than something
Yeah.
that's going to seem cool in retrospect.
Maybe. We'll see how they handle it.
Yeah, we'll have to.
Bill from Houston says, in The Walking Dead, there is always some kind of reason to shoehorn in some zombie kills just to appeal to the masses, and for the showrunners to think they are staying true to the show concept. Most episodes, there is a valid reason to have zombie kills. Sometimes, though, they don't have to get really creative to be able to cram something in. Or, sorry, they have to get creative. Usually it works well enough so that I don't mind and can overlook how it is forced, but this episode has tested my patience far beyond any other. The nighttime zombie invasion in the hilltop was so unnecessary and stupid that it really detracted from the show. What was the Savior's goal in letting those zombies loose on the hilltop?
I mean, they stated it in the episode. Why are you asking me?
If they suspected Gregory of being behind the killing of the satellite station of Saviors, how could they confirm? They obviously expected everyone to be killed, so how would they get any information about settlements colluding? Everyone at the community was pretty much useless. If not for Maggie and Sasha, the whole thing would have fallen. I bet the Saviors knew everyone was useless too. There had to be some scouting reports from Negan's group about their capabilities. I think I don't think it's an entirely invalid question to be asking, because I mean, if the goal was just to kill them all, why didn't they do that afterward?
I don't think the goal is to kill them all. I think their goals, as stated, was going to make you guys think that you're not safe behind these walls, that you need us, that we can protect you from threats in ways that you can't. Like, what if something happened to compromise your walls? Now, I guess if I was a Hilltop, I'd be thinking, like, well, how do I get a hold of you? Do you have, like, a fucking 911? Do you have a savior precinct that you're going to keep at the Hilltop to keep us safe? Like, that's
Right.
the big thing. You're going to take all our guns, all our medicine, and then only see us once a week. That's some shitty-ass protection money that we're paying.
Sure.
But again, if we just stay in universe, Simon said we were going to let these guys come in, scare, maybe kill a couple of you, and then storm in and clean it up. And the fact that you didn't, it makes us imply.
And so they fought him off, and they were like, "Well, I guess that."
And I think that's what raised the whole, like,
Okay.
oh, these, you guys seem like you're a lot of go-getters, and we know another community of go-getters, and I feel like that's where he was more openly probing than
Gotcha.
people.
That makes more sense. Okay, I missed that line from him.
But this is the danger of this show continually underachieving, is that when they finally do come up with something that's not especially compelling, but people check out so much that they start seeing plot holes where there's none, and they start seeing shitty character development when there's none. And I mean, they've like,
Or
I don't
they're
agree.
podcasters and they're taking notes and miss lines.
Right. So that's what I'm saying, or if missed the fact that the car's playing music.
Right.
It's really easy to be guilty of that, because when the show doesn't take itself seriously, people get in the habit of not doing it. So
Sure. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess it's not such a good question. Bill from Houston.
Bill from Houston, come on.
Aaron says, "Fuck right off." That's it for the
FRO, baby.
That's it for the feedback section. I do have some spoiler emails we might want to consider after the music, so
Okay.
stick around for those if you're interested. If you don't want spoilers, get the fuck out, because we are doing them after this music. And if you want to send your feedback in, I really only consider the emails. I know Aaron's on the forums doing his thing. But send it to Walking
it's
Dead.
not just that. Like, I actually...
Send it to WalkingDead at baldmove.com.
I don't pull a lot for the big shows from forums either, but the amazing thing is we've actually succeeded in creating a fucking community.
We have.
That doesn't even need us at this point to succeed. So, like, there is just a lot of really fine and friendly and insightful commenters for all of our shows, and all the threads get a lot of action there. And I do
despite what you might think, it's not all negative. Like on The Walking Dead, you go over there are a lot of people who like this show and listen for those rare episodes where we are all over the show as well.
Right.
So, do that if you want. WalkingDead@baldmove.com. If you'd rather send an email and get considered on the show. And that's it. Yeah. We will see you guys next week for the third to last episode of the season, or the half season, I guess. Whatever.
Yep.
And until then, I'm Jim.
I'm Aaron. See ya.
And we're back with the spoiler section. We start off. Do you have anything you want to talk about before we get into it, or?
No, because I'm not entirely sure. Like, my recollection is that Jesus did not stow away with Carl. So, like, I kind of know somewhat of how these storylines are going down, but they're combining them and remixing them in ways that especially since I haven't looked at this material in 3 or 4 years, I'm a little lost.
Okay,
which is kind of where I want to be with the show.
Yeah,
I don't really want to. I don't want to be expecting something that I'm looking forward to and then get swerved. So
yeah, okay, we'll let the emailers do it for us then.
Oh, I did want to say that I started looking after you mentioned. I started seeing more and more articles where, I guess like Carl Riggs' father sent out this tweet about like so thankful that
Chandler Riggs, but yes,
what I say, Carl Riggs. That Chandler is like done with has fulfilled his contract with AMC, and he's looking forward to starting at Auburn, and like you know, but like in a tone of, and now this could just be some hardball negotiating, because a lot of people point out that like if you wanted to attend the college and still shoot in Georgia, like Auburn's not the worst choice.
Okay.
That like you could maybe work around and not have to travel a lot and still be able to focus on your school, but like. If Chandler Riggs walks away from this season, or after the season, or even next season, you have to recast Carl.
You gotta, yeah,
because you can't just you cannot kill Carl off. You really, I don't think you can. And I wonder if they do this, past the Negan storyline where they do the time jump. And you get into Whispers. I wonder if they'll take an opportunity to just recast everyone.
Oh wow!
Like 2 years, seriously,
it would feel weird for like an episode or two. But then I think
if they do the job casting right and they did it right the first time, like that's one of the strengths of this show is I think they cast everyone impeccably
and nail it. Yeah,
not just in the looks like, but like could act. Like one thing that would solve all this show's long-term sustainability problems is just recast everyone.
Yeah, anyone who. And sign everybody else, I guess, for another 5 years, yeah?
Right,
just get them all on board for the long term.
Anyone who wants to come back and re-up for that, anyone that doesn't, just recast them. Like the Norman Reeduses and the... I don't have any knowledge about like that, but I know that like a lot of people have expressed like, hey, I kind of want off this crazy train, and that makes sense to me. Like, you can't have these aren't animated cartoons that you can keep around for 20, 25 years like The Simpsons.
Right. I mean, we're living in a post-Mountain world.
This isn't Johnny Carson where you can just, show up and drink scotch and smoke cigarettes for an hour or two a night and get $30 million. Like,
right.
This is some real fucking work. So maybe, I wonder if AMC would take the opportunity to do that, because otherwise, long term, I don't see how this show sustains.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just... either have to hope that the money will be enough that these people will change their minds and be willing to make this their career.
Long-term,
essentially,
that never happens. Cause
I can't see
the next
either.
step is like they're all going to want to get paid the same.
Right. Yeah. You have the Seinfeld problem,
and that's fine when you have 4 stars or Friends had 6. But when you have like 30 people that all want from Jesus to Aaron
to Eugene,
and they all want top money. Like I don't know, what do you do?
I don't know, man.
I wonder. And I would love to know if there's like some kind of bunker in AMC where they've actually gone and like planned this out. It's like, what's their doomsday if Chandler Riggs and Norman Reedus and Andrew Lincoln and all those people want out? What do we do?
They'd be smart to.
Yeah.
because it could definitely happen.
The time jump forward would be kind of an awesome way to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, it would be weird, but I don't think it'd be weird for as long as you'd think.
No, I mean, it's a post-Mountain world where you can recast the same character and get away with it, and people are fine with it. If not, like, if you do an even better job casting a character that's more like the one in the comic, people might even appreciate that you did it in the first place. Like, oh, yeah, no, this is a better decision.
Yeah.
So
I mean, and I would hope that the money they save by recasting for presumably less known but equally capable talent, they would plow back into the writer's room.
You would hope so.
Because that would make a lot of sense. Like, you know, I would gladly get rid of the recognizable faces, and, you know, as long as these people can act.
Right.
And they don't seem to have a problem finding people that can act, as long as the fucking quality of the writing went up. Mm-hmm. Like, I'd probably even prefer it. So anyway, that's the only kind of the thing I've been thinking about. You scaring the shit out of me with Chandler Riggs bailing and his dad, you know, either negotiating or over Twitter or else announcing that he's just out. Like, I don't know.
Right. Okay, let's go to the emailers. Brian from Baltimore says, I was listening to the most recent podcast and you guys were talking about the direction of Dwight and his true demeanor. I honestly don't think we're supposed to truly understand his character yet. I mean, he may indeed be a bad person, just not as bad as Negan. And Negan has Dwight by the balls, and he's boning his wife. Remember, in the comic, he despises Negan and ends up taking over the Saviors after helping Rick defeat Negan. During that whole plan, he still did significantly bad things to Rick's group, not only to hide the fact that he had a hand in Negan's fall, but he seemed like he didn't actually care about Rick's group either. So even though he does things to appease Negan, I don't think he minds because he is a wicked guy himself. He just doesn't want to work for Negan.
So,
what's your read on that?
I mean, sure. My recollection is that we gradually understood that about Dwight. We didn't have it revealed over the course of a single episode.
Yeah.
That then they go back and pretend like this is Dwight from last season before he had any nuance. And also, I think that introducing us to Dwight before he had his face ironed kind of fucked things up too. But this is my long-standing complaint. When they deviate from the shit that's in the comic books, they tend to deviate wrong, and they fucking don't know really how to tell a story in a progressive, well-paced manner and without having characters walk in circles and betray advances that they have. And so like, Dwight's par for the course. I'm just disappointed that the course hasn't gotten better.
Yeah, I don't know. At some point...
And I could be wrong.
Are you surprised when your wishes are not fulfilled?
I mean, you know, like I think what you're hearing is a gradual recognition that Scott Gimple is not going to get significantly better. Mm-hmm. He's not going to come back from one of these groups like, okay, I've had enough of these reps under my belt, and I feel like if that was happened, it would have happened last season.
Right.
And I think last season represents kind of like as good as this show is going to get from here on out. That's my fear anyway, because, like, you know, if anything, it seems like that he and Nicotero and Kirkman have gotten together and decided we're doing a pretty goddamn good job of this, guys.
And they're not.
And maybe we got a problem communicating what we're wanting to do with the fans, but it's nothing we're doing on the show that's wrong. And if once you get in a bubble like that,
yeah,
you know,
and it's hard to refute that idea given the ratings. But
sure,
if you were looking at it critically, I think it's a much easier argument to make.
Indeed. But they don't, and so...
They just might not care about that. They're making the most popular show on television.
I don't believe that Greg Nicotero and Robert Kirkman don't care about making The Walking Dead good. It's just they are insulated from...
But they might have a different definition of good. Good
True.
Could mean not critical success, but a financial success, making the show they want to make. I mean, they might just be birds to the world. Let's do this.
Yeah, you're right.
We're making the show that we think is fun and awesome.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. And they're entitled to their opinion on what they're making, certainly. Anthony B. says they're still... Okay, I've got a couple of takes here on the Sasha thing. Sasha Michonne mix-up thing. There may still be hope for Rick's girlfriend to get kidnapped. What do you think about Negan possibly kidnapping Michonne because he thinks she's a sharpshooter, seeing as they confiscated her rifle? But they don't realize that she isn't a sharpshooter but was practicing, and the real sharpshooter, which is Sasha, is still out there and is the actual threat. So the girlfriend confusion arc from the comic is still possible, but not based off looks, rather skill. This could be an interesting remix, I think.
Well, that'd be a remix not to Rick's favor. Like, I guess would I allow just the fact. I mean,
let me read the second one as well.
So here's the thing: it's like it's not like if you had Sasha and I don't know, like Maeve from the Westworld. Okay. They're not really this. I mean, I'm not arguing that they're the same, but like they got similar builds and skin tones and if they wore their hair and their weird ponytail braids, like I can see how you would. But like Michonne is so visually striking and different from anyone else,
right?
Not just in her looks, but the way she's also accentuated those looks and the way she dresses like a Crocodile Dundee ninja woman.
Even the way she carries herself, yeah.
Yeah, like she's just, you're not going to even see her from a distance and think, oh, that's, that's like she's just really, really distinctive. So whereas Andrea's a fucking blonde girl.
Right.
Like she literally is like, a blonde. And I guess like in the comics, it was kind of weird. I mean, because I feel like the person she took, Holly was, like short, spiky hair and almost, and again, if I got it as wrong, but like muscly. So maybe
short, spiky hair. What did Andrea have?
Like a pixie cut kind of thing, maybe.
Oh, she did.
Now I feel like I'm just making.
I remember
up
the
details.
ponytail.
I feel like I'm an eyewitness that didn't really get a good look at the mugger and been like, oh yeah, it's
right,
blonde,
7'12".
Sure,
it was
blonde lizard woman.
Pretty sure it had a horse tail.
But yeah, no, I don't know, because that's the thing. Like, I guess you could say like, okay, well, Sasha and Michonne are both black. Negan didn't get a good look at him as nighttime. Grabbed or he tells the saviors to grab. But I don't know. Maybe
Hunter W talks a little about that. He says now that Sasha is looking to avenge Abraham and infiltrate Negan's compound, as Holly did in the comics, please tell me that the show is not also going to give her the Negan confusing Rick's love interest plotline. It seems like they're trending that way. I know this was discussed in one of the previous spoiler sections, but surely a show that has had such an issue killing off black characters will not do something as insensitive as creating a storyline that assumes that Sasha and Michonne can be confused for just both being black women. Is it possible for them to be that out of touch?
Well, I mean, I think there's room.
I think it's a misstep for this show, though.
You're right.
Specifically.
I want to say like in a vacuum, right. But this isn't a vacuum. This is The Walking Dead. So,
I think it would be a bad idea.
But I'm trying to think is there anyone they can shift that storyline to? Because that's what I thought when Jesse kind of came on the scene. Like I was shipping Rick and Michonne, but I'm like, well, it would make total sense if he hooks up with Jesse, because then you find another blonde. I mean, Jesse's just your stock issue blonde girl,
Right.
She might have even been wearing Uggs. I don't know. But I don't know. Yeah, it seems like something that a minefield that they could step in, but it ain't going to keep them from stepping in it.
That's probably true.
Sure as shit isn't going to keep them from stepping in it.
Finally, Kelly from New Jersey says, so on last week's podcast, you guys were picking on Eugene for fixing a radio for a seemingly pointless reason. I have a spoiler for you from the most recent comic release, Volume 26, Call to Arms. In the beginning of the comic, Eugene is fiddling with a radio, and he actually finds contact with somebody. They have a pretty long conversation, and they talk at several different times further along in the issue. Even though this is a post-time jump in the comics, do you think this is a storyline the show is trying to pursue now?
That's a pretty big temporal remix.
Yeah, it is.
I just looked. Call to Arms includes issues from 151 to 156, so that's even beyond the Whisper plotline, I surmise.
Yeah, it's like four issues ago.
I think they're in the 160s that we found out last week. Yeah, I don't know, because the other thing is like he didn't say he was repairing like a shortwave radio. Like I got that he was repairing a music playing device.
Yeah.
If he starts having long ham radio conversations with that, I'm going to be like, what the fuck? But
yes, things are transmitters, but
then again,
who knows?
Then again, this is The Walking Dead, and who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we've been wondering if they would even do the jump ahead.
Yeah.
Or if they would use this as a way for the comics to get way far away and for them to tell their own story in the meantime. But, I don't know. It seems like the time jump is going to be as we discussed already in the spoilers section, it's going to be useful for them to just kind of rearrange the chairs a little bit.
It seems like they're really mixing up these chairs a lot now, though. Now they're doing things in the show that haven't yet happened in the comics for another, 60 issues?
I'm just saying, here's the thing. I'm just saying that if these guys sat down and said, all right, we've killed off Andrea, that's a decision we were handed, so we can't, we like the charisma that and the chemistry that Andrew Lincoln and Danae Gurira have, we're going to remix that storyline. That they at least thought through the big issues, which is like Michonne, if she's really going to be Andrea, needs to become a sharpshooter. And at some point, if we want to tell this same damn story, they're going to have this confused abduction scene. And if they didn't think through those, then fuck, I don't even... like, if you didn't spitball that to a place where it wasn't laughable, then I don't know what these guys are doing.
Right.
Like, I get it that you show up every season, it's a clean slate, but you gotta know this shit's coming down the pike, man.
Yeah, that's your job as a showrunner.
Right.
To run the show.
Yeah.
To know that there are story beats we need to hit with our ever-changing stable of writers.
Or they could just decide to do something completely different. Like, there's nothing saying that, they're going to tell this exact same story. I was actually thinking, as you were reading this email, I was like, okay, who else could be like in a leadership position in Alexandria that would get their girlfriend /fiance /wife stolen? And I'm like, who all is coupled up now? They did a lot of decoupling.
Carl.
If they take some random teenage girl and they think it's Enid, that would be
some girl on roller skates and just
that's Heather Graham.
Snatch her up.
Roller girl comes by and they snatch her up. I don't know. That's a definite conundrum.
That's fair. Who is coupled off now?
Like, who could be stolen and someone would give a shit beyond, oh, that's my person, that's my neighbor, and that's my ally?
I can't think of anyone besides Rick.
Aaron and his
Eric.
Right.
Yep.
That's still a couple that I give a shit about. But Tara's got nobody now.
No, hers got killed.
Rick, and Michonne, obviously. Maggie's got nobody. Sasha's got nobody.
Gabriel will never have anybody.
Got nobody.
Eugene will never have anybody.
Rosita's got fucking Spencer, but like I don't think she would give a shit if he got kidnapped.
No,
he could definitely be mistaken for any other random dude. He is like the default issue of dudes.
Huh. Yeah,
so
that's interesting.
They kind of have to go if they're going to do it at all. They gotta have to go with Michonne. I guess they could do Ezekiel flipping off the handle that someone kidnapped Carol if they're going to go down with the Carol and Ezekiel romance angle that we talked about.
Yeah, they need to progress that further.
Because Carol's pretty I could see her like lots of different because that's her specialty, right? She passes herself off as other, even though she's a lioness, she passes herself off as your prototypical suburban housewife.
That's true.
So I could totally see someone stealing you. I'm sure these communities are loaded with your typical middle-aged housewives.
Yeah.
Maybe they can remix to that because I could see they already kind of have that instability or someone like Ezekiel who emotionally overreact to that situation anyway. Maybe that would be an interesting remix.
Maybe. I don't know how it goes down in the comics.
But they'll probably just have, Michonne and Sasha, they're both black, so who could tell the difference?
Right. And they'll lean on the comics and say, hey, that's how it goes down in the comics.
Yeah,
and
but
we had this relationship and we just went with it. They'll be that strikes me as a little tone deaf.
Well, not only that, but like say what you will about Charlie Allard, is that how you pronounce his name?
Adler.
One of his critiques is like that he kind of draws everyone that looks like everyone else. Like he's not great at making visually distinctive characters, which is one of the reasons why like Negan looks like a retro 50s throwback, because you have to have almost like the whole gay leather biker guy to have him visually stand apart from anybody else. And like Abraham was like the fucking G.I. Joe, because like you put a handlebar mustache and a tank top and a flat top, you can't mistake him for Glenn. But like it was really hard to tell the difference between Glenn and Maggie sometimes. And when that I remember when that plot line happened, there was like contemporary people making the joke was like, well, this guy's artistic skills finally pay off, because you could plausibly abduct any of the women from Alexandria and squint and be like, I guess that could be Andrea,
or even half the men.
yeah, Glenn, Maggie, any of them, give them a peroxide dye job, and they're Andrea. So obviously, in real life, that falls apart.
Yeah.
So,
all right, that's it. We're going to be back next week at our usual time. So we will see everybody then.
Sunday at 9:00 for the live watch. Monday rather for the full podcast.
Yeah,
podcast.
and we will see you then.
See ya. Bye.